What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition for NXT. Obviously, I know last week I haven't really done. I kind of skipped an episode. Obviously, I wasn't really feeling too well, so obviously, thought last week's episode was actually pretty good. And also give a quick shout out to my buddy Gooley, who actually joined me on a couple of weeks ago. For those who have seen NXT, join me and Gooley for NXT. His first, obviously, his first watch party for NXT. So shout out to him. As well. But we're gonna get ready underway for NXT. For NXT here on February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day, here tonight on the Sports and Wrestling Connection. But as we're kicking off NXT, with obviously the season with Noam Dar kind of just laying back on the trainer's table with Oral Mensa kind of doing some band work. Try to keep. You got obviously keep us going. Keep everything loose. But what's going on, Daniel? Appreciate you coming in, as well. But if you guys make sure to like, subscribe, make sure to ring that notification bell, and definitely share this out to many people who are wrestling fans who actually do cover NXT, as well. So that's, and obviously with both Mr. Stone and Von Wender already kind of with an ambush before you, because obviously they were supposed to have a tag match as well later on the night. I think a lot of people don't realize that obviously, he got his kid. Obviously, it's kind of crazy. They got Mr. Stone's kids. Okay, so that's we're gonna kick. We've got a bunch of Vaughn chants. Oh, okay, Mr. Stone with a nice little power little scoop slam onto the floor. You know, sometimes I kind of forget how decent of a wrestler he really was as Robbie E. For those who remember those days. But we're already underway. Nice little inverted flapjack tagging to Mr. Stone. Absolutely. What do you go for a nice little sidewalk slam into a splat, little knee, like a little knee splash. Cover 1, 2, and no. Yeah, well, that's true as well. But at the same time, he's also has wrestled in the past. Go for a full Ducks. Oh, and God, it gives Noam Dar a right nickel sandwich. And Oral Mensa with a nice little spinning heel kick. And kind of just takes down Mr. Stone. A little showboating from Mensa with obviously with a hard stomp to follow up afterwards. And now we got freaking little tag team action going on. Oh, and Dar just kind of drops him in the corner. I got the Scottish Super. Like I said, and I will continue to say this. Oh God, with the elbow, multiple elbows to the side of the head. But like I was going to say, for those who see me to cover NXT the last multiple times, you guys pretty much know y'all's thoughts. How my thoughts with not because look, I don't hate Noam Dar, but the dude's fucking talented. But I've always said the Metal 4 faction is a bunch of nonsense. Because it's just like, it doesn't really, because I think, like I said, I've always will continue to say that Noam Dar is better off without these. And yes, and also Lash Legend has shown much improvement in her ring work, in her in-ring work. Like later on tonight, we got an NXT tag team match with the family taking on the Wolf Dogs. Obviously the winners of the Dusty Rhodes Classic. Oh, and a kick to the back. Then we also got Carmelo Hayes and Joe Gacy going at it 1-on-1. 1, 2, no, just a 1 from Oral Mensa. And a freaking nice little forearm shiver to the lower middle of the back. Attacking the Scottish Supernova. Oh, Mensa with a now. Oh God, nice little snap face buster. 1, 2, and no. Well, not just that. I think a lot of people don't realize that he's actually wrestled elsewhere in the past. Oh, nice little knee to the gut. He gets taught. And so it looks like Oral Mensa and Noam Dar kind of doing some really doing a good job cutting off the ring, not allowing Mr. Stone to make the tag to Von Wagner. Oh, and there goes Oral Mensa. Takes a nice little tumble to the floor. Oh, nice little hangman off the top of the rope to get that separation from Mr. Stone. And Von Wagner is ready to get the tag to kick off NXT. Tag into the big man. Oh, and a mean ass multiple rights by Von Wagner. Nice little Irish whip into the corner. Oh, kick. And that's not a good idea from Noam Dar. And it's a big boot from the big man. Got Wagner. Go for a double underhook into a corkscrew slam. That's intriguing. Well, looks like for a choke slam here. And Oral Mensa, he might be going for a ride. And both go. Double choke slam by Von Wagner. Who, like I said, for those remember in the past, when I covered NXT for the first time, I called him a big bumbling idiot because the dude was too goddamn green. And Stone, nice little tag team work from Von Wagner. Mr. Stone with the splash. Cover 1, 2, throw. No, and Mensa just gets in the nick of time. That almost spelled disaster for Oral Mensa and Noam Dar Metal 4. And now, man, Mr. Stone throwing some multiple shots. Oh, and out goes Mensa to the floor. And over the top. Oh, nobody home. And Mensa eats a big boot. Roll up by the Sky Supernova. 1, 2, no. And a really nice deep cover by Noam Dar. Eats a mean knee lift. And a chop block. 1, 2, 3, and obviously the last week with Carmelo Hayes kind of finally had that heel turn. After for those who watched that PLE with from Vengeance Day, which by the way, shout out to everyone who actually hung out with me and Ghoulie for NXT Vengeance Day 2024. Oh yeah, that was intriguing. So this matchup with him and Joe Gacy is going to be very interesting to see because I don't think these guys that I know of. And it looks like we could potentially see this another rival matchup going up as well. What's going on, Chad? So Carmelo Hayes, I have no issues. But now we got Rich Holland making his way down to the ring for a second bout here on NXT. But obviously, this Friday will be SmackDown. Obviously, you'll see me and Tyler do SmackDown as well. And for those who have been around or actually joined our Retros WWF SmackDown, we actually did talk about, we did make a little tweak in our streaming schedule, which we'll be implementing going into the next, obviously starting on Wednesday. Obviously next Saturday will be the next, because obviously be the new official date for the It's Ready podcast on a weekly basis, because we've been burnt out, doing two shows per day, basically, or two streams per day. And obviously, for me, I'm the one that does NXT, so like I have no issues pulling double duty for that matter. But overall, man, not a bad start, but it's. I'm sorry, but that tag team match was decent, quite honestly. But like I said, I got my own, obviously my own observations with NXT. Now, do I will say, I'm not going to name drop a lot of people, but the fact that I've seen, say, oh, it's like the worst fucking product. Look, I know I'm going to be beating around the dead horse with this, but this really does rub me the wrong way. Look, NXT is not perfect. I think they so-called wannabe wrestling journalists, think they know what's best for NXT. I don't think so. And obviously, yeah, having them on the CW, which is actually pretty nice because I think everyone has access to, and I think also the same with the USA. But then again, USA hasn't really done much to, well, really do much. Well, then again, USA really doesn't show anything interesting either ways. But then again, who am I to say? Now it's gonna be interesting to see what SmackDown want to get when they go there. Obviously we didn't talk about with TNA and stuff like that. TNA is still gonna be on the streaming schedule. And also that depends, and like I said, and Mitaro said this too, this past month or yesterday, that we're gonna let this play out, see what direction Anthem wants to take TNA, because if it takes them in the wrong direction where, it's like the product, or not say the product, but the writing, the creative style isn't there when Scott D'Amore was there, then I might talk to Tyler about axing TNA. But like I said, we'll let this play out for as long as we can. And this Thursday we'll not say really decide it, but really will be the start of where TNA goes, especially with with a new president, what Anthem wants to do, because if Anthem goes in the wrong direction, we could all expect to see a slow death of TNA wrestling, because because Scott D'Amore wanted to do what's best for the company rather than and obviously with Anthem thinking otherwise. Like, but then again, who am I to say? But like I said, overall, not a good tag team match. It was decent. Because let's be real, I just don't like Metaphor, and the fact that these Last Legend, I think she can pretty much do better on her, and continue to improve on her own, and not really say the same with Noam Dar, even though he's been more established throughout his entire career. But when you have an upcoming star with Last Legend, especially in terms of the women's division over down there, in Orlando, but obviously we cut back to whatever this Chase U segment bullshit. Look, that's the thing too. Like, I don't really hate Chase U, but the way. Honestly, Chase U for me always screams jobber because that's what. And as much as they're over with the NXT crowd, sure, that's one thing. But they ever do get the main roster call up is where it's going to be work. Look, and that's the thing. Too. NXT call ups now doesn't really worry me because obviously Vince is no longer there. So at least I have brings me a little breath of fresh air to see some of these NXT talent actually get the main roster spotlight. Case point like Tiffany Stratton, who I thought could have used a little more fine tuning, but I think that's going to come along as her time on the main roster continues. Which, by the way, I'm actually kind of happy for her finally getting her main roster call up. Now it's going to be interesting whenever Braun gets his. Same with Carmelo. Um, Probably an Ilya too. If you throw Ilya Dragunov into the mix as well, if you want to give him an NXT roster call up. Okay. Like I said, like I said, NXT. Like I know it's been. I've kind of scrapped this and bring this back. It's like I've been flip flopping back and forth with NXT a little bit, uh, because I know like it's been hard to really get other people's attention over here because I've seen and plus I mean it's going against other competition as well that I've done in terms of NXT coverage, but we'll see. Like I said, I'm trying to get better at presenting NXT with a lot of people. At least try to get some new eyes on for the first time, that sort of thing. And that's kind of where I would say where the roadblock kind of starts is kind of bringing people, especially for those who've been around the channel since day one, um, which is no problems with most of y'all day one people. But I mean, with the new, what the hell? So we got and so the Wolfgang will take. So Rich Holland and Gallus, which be part of Wolfgang. Oh God! So be a nice couple of multiple clotheslines. So Irish whip into the corner from Rich Holland. Now kind of taking the fight to the big man. Nice little wrist lock into it. Got it. Nice into a little short arm clothesline. Couple of boots. I say multiple boots to Wolfgang. Oh, and I'm sorry, Ridge eats a multiple body shots. Now a clubbing blow to the back. And now, well, I guess like a knee shiver, right? Now we're seeing multiple boots to the side of the head. Or Rich Holland, courtesy of Wolfgang, just stomping his head in. And now looks like we're going to the okay, raking the eyes. Why Wolfgang? Oh, and one heart clothesline. That's two. Nice little uppercut to follow through it. Let's say Rich Holland. Oh, with the rising knee lift. And now Wolfgang kind of took advantage of Rich Holland getting distracted, and nice little knee across the midsection. Wolfgang, nice little flying senton. I think pretty much most of the gals have like 3 leaders that agree on one thing. It's just kick ass. Oh, and a headbutt. Looking to the jaw. Kind of rocked Rich Hall a little bit in the corner. Oh god, now we got some body shots and an uppercut to follow through from Wolfgang. Wolfgang still ruthless as usual from his ICW days down to the Scotland. It's the Scottish indie scene. Obviously, another rake at the eyes once again. So we're going to go for a freaking. I'll try to go for the suplex, but Rich Holland blocks it. Oh, try to suplex the big man, but just. I mean, both men try to get a suplex up, but no. So let's see what Wolfgang does, and no. Nice counter by Rich Holland. Wolfgang gets lifted up, and nice little suplex by Rich Holland. Kind of Gallows kind of a little bit shaken up by their fellow countrymen. Well, technically, no, I'm sorry. I think Rich Holland is more, I think, Northern Irish. I could be wrong. But either way, they're still either UK brethren while they're in picture. But hey, well, it's gonna be interesting though. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Well, like I said, decent start. Not the greatest, I would say. I mean, I'll appreciate Mr. Snow when he gets a chance to go in the ring, but I just don't know if he has really much ability because it's been a while. I think it's probably been a while since he's kind of actually was a full time or has done in ring competing or compete. Even that sort of wrestling sense for a long time. But I mean, I don't mind him as a manager part of it, but just having a guy that hasn't really wrestled in what feels like a long time, it's going to really bring down a little bit of value, but not like too much to the point where it just kind of throws any opening match off, for that matter. But this match so far has been pretty solid. Match number 2 on this card with Rich Holland and part of Wolfgang of Gallus, part of this gauntlet match. It's been pretty solid. It's been nice, been hard hitting between the two men. But hey, like I said, I'm not really going to like criticize that NXT this week's going to be fucking trash. We don't know exactly what the rest of the card's going to be looking like and how this is going to be all executed because this is all about execution. But it's going to be interesting though. But it's going to. I'm kind of actually somewhat. This is an interesting thing by Psycho Sid on Twitter. Pretty much said, I wonder if Shawn Michaels have ever tried to get someone the NXT the night off. I'm kind of thinking, I think he has done that more than a couple of times. But then again, I've kind of been in and out of NXT depending on the week. Most of the time, hasn't really been consistent. But I do think, there's just certain people. I think but then again, that's kind of the wrestling nowadays. It's like you got a bunch of workhorses that they don't like. They you don't need a really would a nice night off would do some good, sure. But nowadays, we're the state of the wrestling landscape in 2024. It's like you got companies, even in the indies, they have like these workhorses that they will work to the death, basically, work to the bone, so to speak. And I'm not would be surprised if NXT. Well, I don't think NXT does have that workhorse though. That's my thing. But well, we'll have to wait and see how this really plays out for the rest of the night for NXT, which has kind of been pretty much been even so far between Rich Holland and Wolfgang. Oh, I'm sorry. Now it's what's that? Mark? I think Mark Coffey is now in. Oh, nice little chop block by Mark Coffey. Try to take out that injured knee of Ridge Holland, who was like a northern brainbuster for it. Well, yeah, that's true. Okay, obviously working that knee. Oh, now more rotation right across, and now punch the injured knee. And Mark Coffey doing anything he can to really fuck up that knee of Rich Holland. Because if you can't really have much power in your lower half, then yeah, that's really kind of throws pretty much a lot of things off. Um, okay. Now gotta look they now working the ankle too. So kind of try to work that injured left, try now injure the left leg. Oh, Rich Holland, courtesy of Mark Coffey, and Rich Holland using those large legs of his to get that separation. Oh, and a back elbow rocks Coffee after I think he might have got connected on the jaw. Big boot. Ducks the clothesline. Oh, and a back elbow from Mark Coffey. Up on the second rope he goes. And try to go. Oh, what power from into a flat. Oh, look at a spinning flatliner from Ridge Holland. Okay. I'm digging it. Nice little uppercut. And oh god. Mark off the ropes. No, into a spine bust. Not a clean, decent spine buster, but I don't think that really leg hits kind of hold up into another Lord. One, two, and no, and Joe Coffey. Oh, it needs a mean right, but okay. So that's I mean, Gal is kind of now acting like little vultures, now picking apart Rich Holland. Wolfgang with the chair in hand. Now it's Joe Coffey and a big boot. Kind of knocked the chair out. Oh, and Rich Holland with a chair across the back. All across the Gallus members. Oh, nice cut to the midsection. And now a chair to the back of Wolfgang. And just, man, Rich Holland going hammer. Okay, so Lexus King kind of give, but we got Lola Vice for the first women's match of the night. So that's coming up next. Tatum Paxley and Lola Vice going at it 1-on-1 for our first women's match of the night. So I'm I like what Tatum Paxley brings. And Lola Vice, well, that remains to be seen. I want to see more because let's be real. But but it's going to be interesting though. But overall, decent. Like I said, very decent start. Um, should have even quite honestly, that gauntlet match on paper was actually pretty good. Let's put that match was pretty good, but it kind of really ruined it when Joe Coffey kind of got involved and just kind of just really threw that entire match out the damn window, so to speak. And that really kind of really rubs. That kind of really sucks. But then again, I don't know. Who am I to really say on? But it's been a we'll see. We'll see how the rest of the show plays out, I would say. So overall, I'm just but of course it looks like CBS putting out another show, whatever they're putting out, but I don't know. Uh, but I've always said, that call me crazy. Like I've always said, it's kind of hard doing the solo. Not, well, here let me rephrase that. It's hard doing like NXT, solo that sort of thing. Because I know a lot of people don't really watch NXT, and because that kind of got me thinking before, just scrap the entire idea because, well, it's just really it's hardly brings anybody other than you know people like guys like Chad and Daniel Barry, who's been around the channel since day one. It's I think it's tough. It really is, and it's kind of stinks because, like I said, I want to give you wrestling fans a different opportunity to see not because like you guys like Raw coverage, SmackDown, same with TNA on Thursdays, but I don't know. It just seems for me that NXT just I don't know. Let me know in the chat or for those who are like tuning in, because look, I try my best try to bring the quality NXT content, but the problem is, like I said, I'm kind of going against a lot of competition almost every Tuesday night, and it kind of gets me thinking. And I'm going to give a quick shout out to a couple of wrestling content creators who there are some pretty good people that I've seen some good stuff from. Tantalizing Tony, give a quick shout out to him, who's funny enough actually a subscriber to the channel, and also shout out to DJ Taz, who also does consistent coverage of NXT. So give a quick shout out to those guys. I think they're doing some good stuff as well. Especially in the wrestling community as well. But just like I said, those are kind of the competition I'm going up against. Um, and like I said, it's kind of not having a like a permanent co-host that does cover NXT on a weekly basis like I do. It's not easy, but like I said, I always try my best, when it comes to NXT and stuff like that. But then again, I think most people wouldn't care. Not because not saying like not saying try to be negative, but just because it's really hard to I don't know, you know, it's really hard to explain. Is basically what I'm trying to say. You know, like I try to call matches the best I can and stuff like that, and just talk because instead of just having not speaking after like during commercial breaks, it just kind of just feels it just like gives you like dead air and shit like that. I know that's going to drive a lot of people away, and And that's kind of where my issue was sometimes with bringing NXT in terms of their viewership has not really done too well. I mean, outside of Minguli being on, which was actually fantastic because really haven't really worked with Gulli in quite a while, and quick shout out to him, and also it's kind of fun having him on for our Vengeance Day watch party and shit like that. It was 2-3 weeks ago, maybe. I can't remember, but it's yeah. Like I said, I'm not trying to say I'm not going to quit this or anything, but it's going to kind of get to the point where it's like I I don't know, like I don't know if I'm just not feeling it, or I don't think NXT doesn't really come as appealing, especially to y'all, to any of the current viewers or to the new ones who are coming around the channel for the first time. Um, I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. The rest of the show plays out. I'll say, if this show does, I don't know. Well, we got Tatum Paxley making her way down. Um, Interesting, different look from her. Obviously, showing Lola Vice kind of taking the L against Roxanne Perez. And that kind of leads up to this match. Hmm. We'll see how this plays out because right now, bell rung and we're underway. Nice little judo takedown. Now with the grounded pound from Lola Vice. Kind of showing some of that physicality a little bit. Nice little amateur wrestling takedown. Kind of working the low, obviously the midsection. Paxley, nice agility. Now with the waist lock of her own. Nice little roll up. 1, 2, no. Nice little transition. Nice counter. 1, 2, no from Tatum Paxley. Oh, it's like a leaping forearm or leaping elbow into a elbow drop right to the solar plexus. 1, no, just a 2 from Tatum Paxley. So NXT Stand Delivered ticket, Western Media Weekend tickets are on sale now. Obviously, for those who want to check out, and obviously loving WWE, Bianca and Montez are streaming now on Hulu, and a lot of that good stuff. Now we're seeing some of that MMA background from Lola Vice throwing those knees, and it kind of drops Paxley. Cover 1, 2, and no. Now right into a nice little rear chin lock. Now I got the NXT crowd going to get behind Tatum, which is kind of weird because I vaguely remember her had a heel turn and just, I guess they went her back to being babyface again. I don't know. A couple of body shots from Paxley. Oh, and he eats a mean knee to the gut. Big boot to the face of Lola Vice. Nobody home. Nice little roll up. 1, 2, no. Oh, and a kick and just drops Tatum Paxley to the bottom turnbuckle. Now throwing some mean forearms. Trying using the count of 5. I got Lyra Valkyria making her out on the ring side. Oh man, drops her with an elbow. Now a drop kick. Nice little step up into Guri. Kind of takes Lola Vice off her feet. Nice counter. Oh, God, a kick to the chin by Lola Vice, showing that athletic agility. 1, 2, no. Again, spinning heel kick. I think she might be out. 1, 2, no. That's the 2 from Tina by Lola Vice. Okay. Oh, and a back hit. Oh, guys, spinning back, palm, 1, 2, no. Again, another near fall. Another spinning back heel kick. In a weird submission by Lola Vice. And Paxley just fingertips away. And it looks like Tatum Paxley taps it. And Lola Vice wins by submission. Like I said, not really. I don't know. Is it just so we're gonna get the a 6-person tag match. Huh. I guess I don't know. So far, like the first 3 matches were about in terms of stream we're about 47 minutes in. It's been not so Adriana Rizzo and Jada Parker. I don't know. It's really weird because I'm not feeling like this is an episode I'm not feeling for whatever reason. It's just so weird. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those things. It's like I don't. I don't know. Am I the only one that's going crazy? Like I'm not feeling this episode right now because it's I don't know because I don't want to quit. Like we're not even an hour in, but for some reason my gut's telling me like if this show so far this show hasn't really been hitting, and I don't know. It's really tough to explain because it's like NXT at times is very inconsistent to where it could be a good episode one week, like a meh. This kind of feels like a mid type of episode, you know, because usually for me, I always feel like the good episodes are usually the fallouts of pay per views, for whatever reason. And NXT has done a really good job with that. Well, especially the last has done a good job with that. But post, obviously, their fallout episodes, it's been either up or down. And I'm kind of not really feeling tonight for whatever reason. Like I'm just got this weird feeling that this is it's not great. If I'm going to be completely honest, but like I said, I'll give it about to an hour, see how the show goes. Because if it doesn't really go to it, well, then I'll just probably just will have to put the brakes on it, and and that's pretty much about it. But we'll see how. But we'll see. We'll see how this really plays out. I say because we're almost about an hour in terms of streaming, but like I said, I'm not kind of feeling. It's weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's kind of crazy too that it's hard to. And like I said, I've always said, and I'll continue to say this too. Without having someone to doing this with me, it's gonna make this a little bit harder than well. And I know you guys don't, and I know you guys been doing and doing a pretty good job when when I had to hold it down when Tyler was out a couple of times where and times where he was down with this, with a slight illness or technical problems, that sort of thing. But NXT, I don't know. I don't think it's NXT's connecting with y'all, and I don't know. It's really weird. And like I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue this because continue coverage because I don't know if because like I said, that cause that's another thing that kind of really worries me is the fact that does it really connect with y'all? Because hardly anybody comes by that sort of thing. And like I said, shout out to some couple great wrestling content creators who I actually appreciate their stuff. Like that with Tantalizing Tony, obviously shout out for him, like subscribe to the channel, as well. But just I don't know, like I, it's really it's really weird. Not in the bad way, but just I got this weird. Like I said, in terms of this feeling, it's just like I'm not disappointed, but just for some reason, I don't know because I just I don't know. Like it really is hard to explain covering NXT on a weekly basis because I've always had these second thoughts. Whereas, while we have a quick little backstage face off between the NXT Women's Champ Lyra Valkyria and Shotzi, um, but it's just it really is sometimes it's very difficult covering NXT on a weekly basis because the thing is like it doesn't come off as appealing to a lot of people, and I know NXT has one of those it's one of those shows like no one really cares about because it's like well no one who barely watches NXT. And yes, and I mean, and I even said about it, I think about a year and a half ago, like NXT was kind of a dying brand to an extent, even though, yeah, and now looking back at it, I am slightly wrong, but there are just things that I want to see some improvement on. Um, but I don't know. So now I got Jada Parker making her way out. Which I thought she did okay. I was saying her first. Then again, I don't know because I've never seen any of her matches. So I thought she did pretty much okay in her first match with, especially at Vengeance Day with OTM, against the family, which is Tony D'Angelo Stacks and Alana Rizzo or Adriana Rizzo, whatever. But we'll see how this her first one-on-one competition, same for both women. See how this really plays out. And Belle's already rung, already underway. In our second one. Oh, and Rizzo kind of throwing some interesting shots. Nice little block counter to that drop kick by Parker. And now just sorry, now showing her physicality and raining down rights in the corner. There's no chance. We all know that. Pretty much, the company's given up on Shotzi at this point. That's kind of given, which kind of sucks because I mean Shotzi's done a lot, especially when it come to the end, especially in the end on the indies where she has a lot of success. Oh, nice little drop kick by RZA. Hey, RZA now rocking the Air Force dunks. Same with Parker too with the black Air Force dunks, which is kind of interesting to see from both women. Rizzo trying to go for a suplex, nice little suplex. Cover just a one count. Oh, a nice back elbow. Like I said, I don't know because it's weird. I'm saying, look, I don't want to repeat myself because, oh boy, what is Jada Parker going for here? Oh God! And an overhand palm strike right on the chest, off the second rope. Oh God! Almost sat on the ribs of Adriana Rizzo from Jada Parker. Covered by Parker. One, two, no, just a one. And pretty much, Jada Parker talking a lot of smack, which, is kind of interesting. Oh, and what a headbutt rock, Jada Parker. Nice roll up. One, two, no. Oh, a nice little, like a chop, I guess. Like Parker going for a suplex. Oh, nice little snap suplex. Cover. One, two, no. So it looks like Parker kind of toying a little bit with Rizzo. A couple of body shots. Oh, what a nice little knee lift from Parker into the inside cradle. One, two, no. Cover. Nope. Ducks the clothesline and the leaping forearms by Adriana Rizzo. Kind of get the crossover. Oh, God. Now throwing some mean body shots right into the ribs. Another nice snap suplex by Adriana Rizzo. Now to a corkscrew kip up. Okay. Oh, gets caught. And Jada Parker showing that power and right into a spine buster. Off the ropes goes Parker. And a fucking forearm right to the back. One, two, no. Looks like the crowd's kind of split at 50-50, half for Parker and half for Rizzo. Yeah, well, Parker T is dealing with some personal stuff. I think he's still dealing with health issues right about now. One, two, three, and Jada Parker picks up her first win and her first singles win on NXT. Like I said, not bad, but could be a lot better. I would say, but there's improvement to see, especially with Jada Parker and Adriana Rizzo. But now to cut into like a little promo segment with Dijak. I would say we should put on a really solid what do you call it? I would say probably the best no DQ match with Joe Gacy on Vengeance Day. Yeah, but we'll have to wait and see how the doctors if WWE is going to medical and the medical staff is going to really, I would say, what do you call it? Try to medically clear her, because at times, when they're ahead of schedule, and I've seen where like, look, that's the thing. I don't look. I hate Charlotte Flair because I don't like her how she wrestles on TV. It kind of sucks that she's. And look, it's kind of nice that she's actually healing pretty nicely from and actually rehabbing. But my problem is, and this is not a negative by any stretch of the means, so don't really take that. Don't really take that out of context. But my context saying or my being is basically saying, I think there's. I think concerns if what happens if she does re-aggravate that injury, and where that really is going to really, I would say, put her career in, obviously in limbo, so to speak. But like I said, we'll wait and see if how everything plays out. And Dakota Kai, I've heard that she's coming back, but she still doesn't know when she's coming back. But we'll see. Like I said, we'll see when. But we are cut to a little quick commercial with NXT Shop by Fanatics. Um, but we'll see though. It's one of those things. It's like, nah. And we're finally at the 1 hour mark here on an NXT coverage. Like I said, I appreciate anyone that's coming in that are returning viewers and stuff like that. And my thing is, like I said, for those who are the newer viewers, newer viewers and stuff like that are trying to get an NXT. Look, I try my best a lot to try to do my because they doing this whole kind of well. Here's the thing, I don't like doing well. The thing is, the only thing I do solo is mostly sports and shit like that. But when it comes like the wrestling stuff like that, usually it's always me and Tyler because we're pretty much a tag team when it comes to wrestling content and stuff like that. And in terms with NXT, NXT is not well. Tyler just has like this love hate thing with, and I really can't blame him with. Oh well, that's kind of the idea because Carmelo Hayes as a heel has fucking been nothing but fucking money. But going back to my thought on that, because like Tyler, he just can't really get into NXT, and I really can't blame him because it really hasn't really hit since the black and gold days, and obviously when Vince got his stupid Wi-Fi, I'd tell you. Like I was saying before, I got fucking brutally interrupted before that stupid Wi-Fi outage. That's it's been hard to cover NXT on a weekly basis because it's really weird because I'm not gonna say like I'm slack on it, but it's like there's just some weeks I don't feel it. Sometimes I do. Like it's just, but sometimes it's like it's really hard. Yeah, I know a lot of people do, but it's just the NXT content. Like I said, right now I might just think about just calling him right now and just game for the rest of the night because right now it's been tough because not because I don't want to call it. It's just it's been hard to get new eyes, especially over here in terms of the NXT product. And I know a lot of people just don't really seem, I think, and I know NXT has really been interesting a lot to a lot of people, and to each their own with NXT. It's yeah, I know a lot of people still want to reminisce them, and sure, which by the way, NXT had it, which was the best period, which is the black and gold era. Um, but just it kind of got me thinking, about the black and gold era. Sean, because here's the thing, I've been thinking about this too, which I will touch on that. I wish to see the NXT Black and Gold era ran by Triple H and shit like that, and obviously, and just see if the Black and Gold era can have this sustainability of success in the post Vince McMahon era. And to be fair, I mean, it sounded like in my head, it sounded like a fucking good idea. But the problem is, it's like, would anybody even care for NXT Black and Gold? Well, because I know wrestling has to adapt over time, and well, that kind of really and nowadays it's like I'm not really worried when some of these NXT people get their call ups because obviously when Vince was still around, he always find a way to fuck with them, and now it's not really so much the case anymore because now we're seeing Triffy Stratus seeing some early success with her on the main roster. At some point, Carmelo Hayes has to get called up to the main roster. Seeing with Braun Breaker, Ilya Dragunov. I don't know how much longer they'll be going down there. And there's some amount of guys that I want to see get called up, but I don't know why it's taking them too long to keep them. Why they're still keeping them down there, but. And like I said, Chris, I don't really blame you for watching NXT because of Roxanne, because let's be real, she has a really good resume, not just in WWE, but when you look back like places like Ring of Honor, she's actually had a stint with, and pretty much for the rest of the indie scene, that sort of thing. And yeah, it's really, well, it's, but so now we're seeing finally Joe Gacy of old before. Okay, then we've got a camera upside down. I don't know why. I was going to see Joe. Even though if WWE wasn't PG, we probably would definitely would see Joe Gacy of, well, I would say not to an extent of his CZW days, where that's when he was at his full potential. No, I still think he can reach his full potential in WWE. That's for sure. On, but just I don't know. Joe Gacy is a really weird case. And yes, I know you probably throw a guy like, oh, not, all right, already quick out the gate with Carmelo Hayes throwing multiple shots. Oh god, nice little forearm rocks him. Nice little Irish hook counter to the corner, goes and back body drop by Joe Gacy. Mello goes face first into the turnbuckle, and again to the other turnbuckle. Looks like we're gonna go all four corners. No, elbow to the stomach. Oh, and Joe Gacy eats that with no problem. Oh god, a nice little sliding snap backbreaker and nice to a suplex covered by Gacy. One, just a one count. Now let's go kick to the midsection. Nice Irish counter. Oh, and nice little trip up. Grabbing the leg. Let's see where Carmelo Hayes is going to go. Try to wrench on the ankle. And obviously the strength of the lower half. Kick to the midsection of Hayes. Nice Irish corner. Hayes off the second rope. Nice little leaping clothesline. Takes down the big man, Joe Gacy. A nice little shot, forearms and shots by Mello right in the corner. And nice little Irish whip in the corner to Joe Gacy. Nice little running chop. Oh boy, that's gonna leave a marker. And of course, Joe Gacy just fucking ate that like a champ. Now throwing his multiple chops. And now with the multiple headbutts. Good God. My top will getting a fucking try to rock the jaw of Carmelo Hayes. A nice little something. Oh, what the fuck? Hold up. Okay. Sorry, USA kind of Royce. Now I've got a sitting chin lock. Okay, with Carmella kind of pulling on the hair. I'm just kind of glad that Joe Gacy is actually doing his own thing. Because let's be real, with him and Schism, it's just like I never felt. Look, on paper, on paper, I like the idea, but it was the execution where it was just piss poor. Well, to an extent. When you have the GYV, which is the Grizzly Young Vets, who are doing some good stuff right now with TNA, trying to go after ABC and the TNA tag titles. Ava Rain doing some actually nice stuff as the authority figure, and just Joe Gacy kind of just doing it what he does best and just kick ass. Covered by Gacy 1, 2, no. And Gacy's nice little backbreaker. Cover 1, 2, no. And Gacy now trying to pick apart like a vulture on a dead carcass, and nice back body drop to Carmella Hayes, courtesy of Joe Gacy. Gacy just, I mean, I guess Bray Wyatt would be the late Bray Wyatt would be very happy to see kind of a guy like Joe Gacy kind of pay a little inspiration to go deadlift on the second. Okay, this is interesting. Oh, and a right hand. And again, Carmella now throwing multiple right to the top of the head of Joe Gacy. Kind of a bit of more of a hockey fight at this point. And both men were trading shots for most of this match. And out goes Joe Gacy onto the apron. Obviously, we got "You're Not Him" chants among the from the oh god, and Joe Gacy just dropped. And Carmel, okay, it looks like Gacy with a little mind games. And Tope Suicida by Joe Gacy. Not the cleanest, but was effective nonetheless. Oh, and Gacy kind of did a little mock of Carmella Hayes. And as they cut to commercial as well, which, that's intriguing. But like I said, I appreciate it when that's come by the stream. Because like I said, I've always had second thoughts of even covering NXT because originally before I decided the original idea was to scrap it because I know it was hard to get eyes, and not you don't appreciate some of the returning viewers and shit and guys like that, but just where the state of NXT is nowadays, that really kind of got me thinking, like, do I want to scrap this again or just really hold off on doing it? Because right now I don't know if you guys even like this kind of my NXT coverage for that matter. Because if not, just let me know. Like I said, I'm very open to constructive criticism. But it's just one of those things. It's like, does anybody even really like how I cover NXT? Because quite honestly, not having a secondary host for this is, I feel like with this kind of what holds it back for that matter. And I don't know, it kind of really makes me worry that this doesn't really turn out to be a complete success. And really look at the rest of the NXT. And actually, now that I think about it, so I want to see. Oh no, that's not what I meant to do. For now, I'm going to look at my student because God, it's been a while. It's been a long time since I've covered NXT. And yes, I know there's been times where I just didn't feel like doing it because, well, because my thought was, would anybody care for that matter? Because it's like, you guys are like everything else that me and Tyra do, but it's just I feel like NXT, it does not. I feel it doesn't really connect with y'all for that matter. And not saying that I'm not trying to say like I'm not saying anything about it, but it makes me worried like if anybody doesn't even care. He said, "Nah, look, I can just scrap this and we can just continue what me and Tyra normally do. Cover Raw on Mondays, SmackDown on Fridays, TNA on Thursdays. We have the It's podcast now finally moving to Sundays. Or I'm sorry, Saturdays at 6 o'clock. I'd say back to 6:30. I would say. But I don't know. Like, and just seeing. Let me see NXT because I want to because I've done because when I first started covering NXT, September 20th of 20 goddamn 2022. And here's the thing about that. It's been and look, I appreciate the amount of likes and stuff like that, but the most that I've got in terms of a single episode was 116. That was back on November 7th. And well, since then, it's just been all over the fucking place. And like I said, I don't really care about numbers and shit like that, but it's just not really having, like I said, not having like like a co-host for this really does. For me, I feel like it does bring it down a tad because it's like I don't know. Well, like I said, I might call it after this match because I don't know. Like I said, I'm not. Let's say like I said, I appreciate one that's actually hung out. Since I've been doing NXT since September of 2022, which is very crazy that I've been doing it for that long. Yeah, and yes, I know there was probably a ton of other episodes that I probably missed in that time frame, and because like I said, it's I've always had second thoughts on even covering NXT for that matter. And Hayes, nope, nice little slide outside the ring. Hayes, oh, and eats a multiple clotheslines by Joe Gacy. Ducks the clothesline and nice little drop kick. A nice little shoulder tackle into the corner. Nice little rebound into a Saito suplex. And into a Uranagi slam. Cover 1, 2, no. Another near fall. I should have been into the ropes. No, nice counter by kicks the injured leg out. And it looks like and Gacy. Oh, nice counter by Gacy. Nice Michinoku driver. 1, 2, no. Another near fall. So back to back near falls. Especially this portion of the match is Gacy now climbing to the top. Oh, and a running back elbow from Carmelo Hayes. Good God. Into a cutter. Very nice from Carmelo Hayes. I said, it's it. 1, 2, no. Got a little too cocky there, Carmelo. But Carmelo Hayes, oh man, part of his face kind of red after me eating him. Well, it looks like a part of just a little bit outline of a knuckle of the knuckles. On a kick to the midsection, Gacy with a nice Irish whip counter into nice grab the waist and and Hayes throwing a couple of back elbows and now an elbow to the top of the head, trying to get some separation off the second rope. No, gets caught and into a Uranagi slam again. And Joe Gacy springboard into a code breaker by Carmelo Hayes and just walked right into that. And I think that's going to set up with nothing but net for Carmelo Hayes. And nothing but net connects. Covered by Hayes. 1, 2, 3. So Carmelo Hayes picks up the win over Joe Gacy. Not a bad match. I will say this. That was been a very nice, solid, hard-hitting match between the two. And seeing a different side of Mello. Finally, a heel side. Good match. Good match in the last bit from Carmelo Hayes. And now we got Dijak now to beating him down with a nightstick. Obviously, I have a feeling why this feud's not that rivalry. And Dijak's got a straight jacket. Okay. Then again, interesting. Well, I feel Gacy is one of those guys that does belong in a straight jacket. Yes, JC feels like Gacy's not going down without a fight. And oh god, he just gets a boot to the side of the head, just drops Joe Gacy, courtesy of Dijak, who I've been liking what he's been doing in terms of his character work and stuff like that. It's been very impressive. I will say that. Oh yeah, Rent. Mm. Oh, that's where that's gonna go. And by later on tonight, which I think that's going to be the main event, the NXT Tag Team Championship match, the family taking on the Wolf Dogs. I do think that should be a nice little hard hitting match. I will say. Uh, so next week, that'll be next week. Shotzi and Lyra for the NXT Women's Championship. Here's the thing. I would not have no issues if Shotzi does come back, just stay down on NXT because I think she. Here's the crazy part, and obviously we're seeing and see it here from Obafemi, who originally not one of my guys I would see, not win the NXT North American Championship. But at the same time, knowing that Dragon Lee was a placeholder for the time being, because Wesley for some reason now was just becoming injury prone. It's I'm kind of concerned if the mid. Well, I would say I'm not gonna really see what I'm concerned about the mid card division of NXT, but here's my thing. Is do you really need? I think the mid card division needs to be not say retooled, but just they need some fine tuning. Is the right term I was going to use or was trying to think of. Do you think the mid card division deserves some fine tuning? But I do think there's potential there. Don't get me wrong. Now with Shotzi going to perform on NXT next week, I'm not going to have issues with that just because the fact that she hasn't really. Let's be honest, the company's giving up on her the main roster. I mean, they really put on these meaningless storylines or these meaningless feuds that really what has it really has accomplished for someone like Shotzi? Because that's my thing. Shotzi, ever since she got called up from NXT to the main roster. Originally thought it was originally smooth sailing. Don't get me wrong, but then again, it just started all going downhill. And for some reason, she doesn't. I don't know if she does really click with the fans on the main roster. I don't know if that could be the case, but if that's the case, then have her get sent back down to NXT and kind of work on that. And if she has the option, say, if I can stay on NXT, be like a full time member to help with this women's division, I'm okay with that because I do think I don't know. Is there really? But maybe that's just me. Oh, Lordy. But maybe that's I'm like I said, maybe I'm the only crazy person about that. But yeah, looks like I'm probably just gonna cut this here because like I said, probably the rest of the show I'm probably not gonna be feeling. And I appreciate anyone that I say hung out with me. I mean, barely. And like I said, I'll put something on the community post and put this on social media, and kind of asking y'all, you know, because like I said, NXT cover doing this by myself is kind of tough, and it's been hard to really get this. Hold up, before we cut that, so when you cut back to a backstage segment and Roxanne just going right off. Well, and not just that too, and I know. Oh, well, damn, Roxanne. Again, who are goodness is a man's struggle. Evil, however, is human nature. Who the fuck is this? I want to fucking know. That's what I want to know. I got Obafemi. We're going to be hearing from him. Hmm. Okay. Looks like Oba Femi's gonna. So it looks like Lexus Keaton's kind of put his nose in here. Hmm. I don't think Oba Femi's even. Hmm. Says promise. Okay, that'll be an interesting match to see. Especially I mean, call me crazy. I feel like Oba Femi's kind of giving me that like King T'Challa type of vibes. How his entrance is, how the crowd reacts. Just kind of giving that. Noah Femi looks like going for a power move of his own, and Lexus King just sneaks away. Okay, intriguing. So we're gonna see that next week on NXT TV. Yeah, Josh Briggs and with these other two schmucks. Okay, so let's say we have Jensen kind of go after Briggs a little bit, so that everything kind of just got out of hand. Man, so Ava kind of losing her shit. So I'm sorry, but Izzy Dan looks like a knockoff Tiffany Stratton. I'm sorry, but that's the way she comes off. I mean, she's the looks kind of. She's got the almost the exact sim. Well, I know the outfit choices is not similar to Tiffany Stratton, but I will say Izzy Dame is a pretty much a rip off of um what do you call it? Oh my god, now I'm having a brain fart now. God damn it. Oh, Tiffany Stratton. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've been all over the fucking place tonight. It's been like I said, it's been rough. But like I said, I'm pretty much just gonna cut it here because like I said, I'm kind of not really feeling for the rest of the show. Like I said, if you guys are new, make sure to like, subscribe, all that stuff. Like I said, we'll be back at it again. Like I said, I'm gonna have to really mull this over, and really do think about this because here's the thing. I've said it once before. Look, here's the thing. I said I was going to scrap this before, and then as soon as I got started, the writing was getting better. And better creative direction was actually kind of really helped the show out a little bit. The pay per views were been pretty good, but now it's just like I don't know. I legitimately don't know. But like I said, I'll definitely ask the community, um, even on social media too, as well, and kind of get you guys' thoughts. And that's where I'll make my decision. And that'll be final because, like I said, NXT is it's been hard to get some new eyes up on the product, and especially my coverage is out of it as well. But if you guys, but outside of that, I am out.